It is what it is, you know?
Thanks, Chris. Thanks. That's helpful. The engineer, like, yeah, so it works if it works. That's how I want. That's how I want my car to be developed. How does the wheel work? How does the engine work? I don't know. It works if it works. If you go, you go. Thanks.
This is totally going to be the chopped up intro to this interview to
For
start
sure.
the video off. It is what it is. And then you're like, oh. All right, this is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Dan from Nerd Talk.
And for those who don't remember, Dan was one of our earlier guests on the podcast. So I thought it was only fitting that we finally actually interview him to find out more about him.
Well, you know, better late than never, I suppose. Best
Probably
for last, as it were.
Should have done this a long time ago.
Well, I blame you, really.
Yeah, it's definitely my fault more than Dan's. I was planning to do this forever ago. And of course, then we reinvented the podcast like 6 times. And now we're back to doing conversations with the CHRILLCAST. So this is a long form interview style video with Dan.
I'm happy to be here.
While I have you here, I'm going to start by pulling up your channel, and I'll let you talk about it.
I'd appreciate that.
As soon as I get there. All right. It's youtube.com/nerdtalkdan.
Yep. youtube.com/c/nerdtalkdan.
Okay.
That C, I don't even know what it means, really, but a lot of channels have it.
C means channel. It's just like whenever your channel was formed, some designated with a C, some just are /, some are /user/name. It's like all over the place. YouTube's changed so many times, but
yeah, it's weird. It's just, it ruins the flow. Like youtube.com/nerdtalkdan would be amazing, but it's not that.
I think it would still work. Let's find out. Just for fun.
Yeah. Chris, we are breaking new ground here. Error 404. 404.
Nope.
What?
It works. Yep, it works without the C.
Okay. I'm going to throw that up there now from now on because that makes more sense. Okay. Thank you. Chris, every time you teach me about new things, Mormon T and now no C.
There you go.
Right.
So Dan, what do you do on YouTube? Can you give like a brief overview of what your channel is?
Sure. I am a self-classified video essayist. I talk about pop culture, movies, books, games, recently anime, anything that strikes my fancy. The channel is very much what interests me, the things that make me happy. I think there's a common, what would you call it, modality of pop culture channels nowadays that are focusing a lot of negativity, right? Oh, here's this thing that I don't like. Here's why I don't like this. And it's not to say that media doesn't deserve to be criticized, but for me, I just can't be steeped in negativity. I want to talk about the things that I love. So on my channel, you're going to find me talking about Star Wars. You're going to see me talking about a lot of the shows. So my last 3 videos are anime that I grew up with, anime that I love. You can see on the screen right now, I'm talking about Coming to America too, because I was raised with Coming to America and I was really hopeful about that movie. So it's about the things that make me happy, and I want to share my happiness with others, and I want to hear from my viewers. What do these things mean to you? Tell me your stories growing up. And a lot of my more recent videos, my viewers are commenting on their stories, and that really makes me happy to hear how, Cowboy Bebop got them through a rough time, how FLCL helped them kind of put into perspective their own adolescence. And that just means a lot to me because it kind of helps me feel like, we're a community and we're not alone in this weird world we're in. And especially, with the pandemic, we're all searching for connection. So I found it a great way to reach out and hopefully make people smile.
And just for the record, he's got quite a diverse amount of content that you've covered over the past, 3 years?
Yeah, you and I are contemporaries. I think we started about within the same 6 months. So what are you guys on, 3 years?
Yeah, we're on about 3 years. Yeah, I think
so
March was 3.
Yeah, for sure.
And just for fun, how do we know each other? Where did we meet, Dan?
I mean, meet is such a strange word to use, Chris. Yeah. So there is a brilliant subreddit called Small YT Channel, a small YouTuber channel, basically. And it's a great little community because it's enforced feedback and enforced engagement. So a lot of these smaller YouTube communities basically become link dumps. For anyone who doesn't know, for people who don't make content, a link dump it. So let's say I make a new video. At the growing phase, at the phases that a lot of us are now, you are basically just throwing it out there. You're shotgunning it out to as many people as possible in the hopes that if you get enough views, you're going to pull in some new subscribers, that the algorithm will see, oh, this is popular enough that I can now start showing it to the broader YouTube audience. But unfortunately, YouTubers tend to be a little more self-centered. And I'm very much guilty of this too, especially when I was first starting out. I think we all are, is that we just throw our links everywhere without engaging in the community. And well, Chris, you know the Lambda system. Why don't you explain it to us?
So essentially, to earn Lambda, you have to review a certain number of videos, and you have to give a thoughtful review or critique on it. You can't, or it could be a channel even. But if you're just leaving like cool, bro, like you're not going to get Lambda for that necessarily, or you might get reported and then you won't get any Lambda in the future. But essentially the idea is that Lambda is a merit-based system. You're posting your stuff, but also reviewing or critiquing at least 3 or 4 people on your own to get the Lambda enough to post. If you want to post, you have to hit a certain goal. I think it's still 3, right?
Yep, it's still 3.
And essentially once you hit that 3, you can post. And as long as you have also contributed to the people out there, you should be okay to get a feedback on your stuff.
Now, what people don't know, Chris, is that we have a Discord server as well for this small YouTuber channel. And Chris actually kind of revolutionized the Discord server. Before, we were kind of becoming a linked up as well, the server. But he said, why don't we have this thing called a feedback loop? And it was all Chris's idea. And we instituted, it's kind of like it mimics the Lambda system, but because we don't have a Lambda bot on our server, what he did was, okay, you can upload a video, but then you have to, I'm sorry, how do I put this? So you can upload your video only if you offer very thoughtful, at least 3 points of critique, actionable critique. So great thumbnail, or I didn't like this thumbnail, is too vague, right? Why is it good? Or why is it bad? Give them advice, give them time codes. And that's something we've been a little strict with. It hasn't been as, what would the word be? Active as we'd like, because it forces people to write paragraphs upon paragraphs of critique. But the critique we are getting and the quality from active members is just so valuable to the people who are getting those reviews. So thank you, Chris, because it's been an amazing experience to have that.
I'm glad I could offer that option and then ghost the Discord server for I don't know how long.
We're all busy. We all understand. And you're what? You're a dad and a husband and a working guy. You know.
That's correct. I'm basically around the clock doing something.
It's amazing, man.
Do this, and I do hope in the near future you're going to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark that I know you're aiming for.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is, I'm not even aiming for it anymore.
It's pretty much inevitable for you at this point, I think, Dan, to be honest.
It is coming. It's coming faster than I thought it would. Well, it's both slower and faster, but like I came to terms with it probably about half a year ago. I was like, 1,000 is nice. It's a nice thing when you're first starting out, but I don't care that much about it anymore. Like when I hit 10K, if I hit 10K, I think that'll be when I'll be, okay, now I'm going to have a drink. That's when I'm going to celebrate, because now I can open a Patreon and make that good money. That's what it's about. 1K, pshaw.
So it's funny that you say that. I see you had the one that got 41K views. I'm assuming your watch hours are past where you need to be, right?
Yeah, quite a while ago, because of that video mostly.
So it's funny looking back, because like I don't know if you talk to Spy V consistently or at all anymore, but I remember when we were talking to her when she had that 90K view video like forever ago. She goes, it was really cool hitting that 90K views and breaking 1,000, but like once I got there, I got no money because that was how I got into the partner program. So I had all these views and all this money made for YouTube and no kickbacks, right?
For sure, absolutely. The hope is that whatever got you to that growth, whatever like jump started it, that video keeps growing after it continues to grow. So here's hoping.
Right. It is. And the other thing was funny was you never know what analytics behind the scenes look like until you hit some of those big big view videos, and you're like, oh wow, that actually does make a couple bucks for you. And the 41K
sure.
views, that would have probably been several $100s.
Well, I guess it all depends on the type of ads. So I guess you get different types of ads depending on what type of content creator you are. So tech ads for tech people, gaming ads for something like you, entertainment, it's all very much diversified. And however, if I'm a business owner and I want to run an ad and I run a tech company, of course, I'm going to send it more toward the tech YouTuber, or I might want to shotgun it out there as well. So it's all case by case. But I have no clue what kind of ads I will get if I do get ads, if I monetize. I'm just trying to enjoy the ride right now because it's been weird. But yeah, speaking of analytics, I honestly have no clue what's going on with that video. I love that video to death. It means a lot to me, and I put a lot.
I did watch that one. It was a really well put. If anybody's looking for a video to start with on Dan's channel, that's a good one to start with, in my opinion.
Yeah, there's certain like milestones for me in terms of how my content has evolved. I think you can see a through line. You probably been one of the longer people who've seen my progression along the way, and I've watched yours. And our starting generation of YouTubers, I think we've all followed each other quite closely, and we've all remained in contact, which is nice.
Yeah, it's like having what is it, the when you're going through school together, what do they call that?
Like a graduating class.
Yeah, kind of like being in the same class.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at Arash, and he's kicking butt. He's doing great, and I keep track of his stuff.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You see his progression of how he makes content as well. So you keep track of, or I try to keep track of all those things, and I try to keep track of my own progression and growth. So you can actually see I've hidden a lot of my older videos just because they weren't up to quality anymore. And over time, I'm going to start probably phasing out some of the earlier ones, and probably some of the shorts too, just clean up my channel a bit. But it's not to say I'm not proud of a lot of those earlier videos. It's just kind of cringe. Like with that Kenshin video. I'm sorry.
Like in the future, you're going to have like Nerd Talk 2 and post all your old videos on it.
I might. Yeah, that would be a fun thing. So here's the funny thing. I watched an interview with Mr. Beast, and I guess he just keeps all his stuff up there. And he's like, yeah, I mean, it's not that, of course he understands that that stuff is cringe. And it's just, he's like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it maybe if I hit 50K or something, I'll just start putting them back in, or maybe I'll do like a monthly, all right, pulling something from the archives. Here's this video, just so you can check my growth. I've been kind of debating whether or not to get rid of the Halo videos. I like them, but in terms of a lot of the quality, how I've grown since then, I almost want to redo them. Maybe update the scripts, go through, remove the avatar thing. I haven't used that in ages, even though I kind of like it conceptually. But yeah, those Halo videos were one of the probably like the second milestone for me when I was starting to kind of feel out what it means to be a video essayist. And that's, I think, when I started using chapters as well. So there were longer videos. So that first one, the episode 7, how long is that? I can't see it from here, Chris.
Episode 7.
Is that it's the one with Chief. It's the Infinite poster. No, the one to the right of that. Yeah.
The first one, it's about 23 minutes.
Yeah, so that's when I started pushing 20 minutes, right? And so now I'm pushing over 30.
Oh, I see where it says episode 7 now. Okay, I see what you're saying. When you said episode 7, I was like, are you talking Star Wars?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean that. I used to label my episodes, and that's something I've changed too. Is I'm not even doing the Let's Talk About series anymore. Although I want to get back into that when I get a chance. It's just, it takes a long time with my current style of content to do those kind of quick, funny one-offs.
Right.
But hopefully I really did enjoy those, because it's just talking about something very concentrated. Here's this one issue. What does that mean? So it's a lot of fun.
I did like how you broke down the Fast and the Furious series. That was a cool thing that you did somewhere in the middle of the great Anthony Bourdain and the Sonic sequel.
Yeah, so if you go to the Resident Evil one, from the Resident Evil video until the Deadpool, that phase of me is when I was really looking at editing. So that's when I was kind of, I don't say I've mastered by any means, but I was trying out new editing techniques. I kind of had a better understanding of flow, of what I wanted to do, and then my own voiceover, my own scripts were becoming a little bit more smooth. So my first videos were do you remember the Joker video? Because that was the one you reviewed for me.
Technically speaking, if people want to see part of that video, I think maybe even the whole video, I'm not sure. You could go to our live, or not live stream, but review stream we did where DW Relive, who, you know, arrested in non-internet places, I guess. I don't know where he's been lately.
I saw him last week. We had dinner.
Oh, did you? Is he
Yeah,
actually
he's doing
making
great.
more content?
That is classified. I can't tell you, but I can say there may or may not be a collaboration with me in the works, tentatively. So keep an eye out, guys.
I still owe him a collab too. He did tell me he had content at some point, but I don't know when that's coming out.
Yeah, well, let's just, you know, hope for the best. That's all I'll give you.
There you go. All right.
Yeah.
I am looking forward to that though. So I can tell you this. It's funny how you mentioned Mr. Beast, because I've listened to a decent amount of interviews he's done, because he is like a content creator, you can kind of aspire to his success, even if you're not necessarily in line with everything he does. He's clearly successful. And one thing that I've noticed is the more content you do, I feel like the less content you do and the better content you do. Is that kind of, would you agree? I've said that's like a natural evolution for most channels. Like they'll go from posting a lot of content to less content that's higher quality, and then consistently that trending in that way.
That's a great question. That's the eternal debate, I think. There are people who make it successfully. Sorry, I'm speaking English is a little bit difficult for me sometimes. People who are releasing 2 or 3 videos a day. They're doing those little mini videos, and a lot of those people are more face on camera. I'm reading a news article. Here's my reaction to it, and those are kind of easy to make. Yeah, no, and that's fine. But you know, you look at. I don't want to mention any names, but they're just those type of people who can release a bunch of videos per day, and that's fine. Let's say you do one solid chunk of an hour of content, right? Just talking about stuff, and you can break that into several videos. That's an absolutely valid form of content, and it's something I would eventually like to do as well. But it depends on both your time. How much time do you have? You're a full-time family guy, working guy. You know, my commute alone to work takes me 2 hours in the morning, and it's one way back. Yeah, so I'm up at 4:30 in the morning. I'm working all day. By the time I get home, I'm so wiped.
Is your commute the time when you would like game or read or something like that?
I sleep, honestly.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so my schedule's kind of weird. I switched workplaces, and it's farther out. It's in Tokyo now, so I have to get up around 4:30, right? I have to be out the door by 5:30 to make my train, which is a straight shot. And on that train, not only is it a straight shot, so I don't have to switch over anywhere, I can also sit down, usually. Okay. I can usually get I'm a seat sniper now. Like I'm learning the all right, let's take a sidetrack real quick. Here's Japan 101, folks. Here's the desperation and the fight to get a seat on a train. When you have a regular commute on a crowded train, eventually, so my stop is early enough on my commute that I can get a seat usually. The seats open up fairly regularly. But now what I'm doing is I'm trying to remember faces, who gets off where. And that's the mundane superpower I want. Like on Reddit all the time. What's a dumb superpower you want? I want to be able to see where people are getting off at a train station, folks. Get your mind out of the gutter.
I wasn't going to say it.
Yeah, I was. I know. I saw it in the comments. I was like, yeah, I see it coming above their heads. So I can like park myself. So I'm standing there right in front of them. And I feel bad because there is this one lady who has a very distinctive feature. I found her, and now I know her. And every day I walk and I park myself right in front of her because I know she's getting off one stop later. And I feel bad because now it feels like I'm stalking her. But it's not because of like I'm interested or anything, like I'm trying to take advantage of her. I want that seat. I want to sit down, and for the next hour, however long it takes me to get to my workplace, I want to sleep. That's it.
You're like, I will be in that seat before it gets cold.
Oh yeah, it's a real battle sometimes. Like people don't understand how intense the battle is for seats here, and it's that polite Japanese style. Like no one says anything necessarily, but people are wheedling their way in advance. They're putting their foot in front of another guy just to get that position right. So it's intense. It's real intense. It's a lot of fun too.
Have you played the Persona games? I'm curious. I can't remember.
Persona 3, yeah.
So would you say the train is an accurate depiction?
Yeah, that Persona is weird. Persona and Shin Megami, the entire series is very much based on Tokyo places. So when you've lived here long enough, so for example, Devil Survivor 2, yeah, Devil Survivor 2, and I believe some of Devil Survivor 1, takes place on my train line, right? So at those stations, and then there's Persona 5 that is just straight out on part of my train line.
It's Shibuya, right?
Yeah, it's in that Shibuya area. So like you're interacting with places that I know, and they went to those places, the artists, and they drew out areas that I recognize, and I'm like, oh, of course, outside of just the regular Tokyo that most people know. So it's
if you're
really
wondering what
intense.
he's talking about, here's the games. He's talking about Double Survivor 2.
Great games, man. Oh, they're so good.
Those are almost like Fire Emblem style grid games, right? These are some of the few I haven't played yet.
You haven't played those?
No, not these two.
Oh man, you got it. They're real good. Play Devil Survivor. I think it's overclocked because it has voice acting and stuff now. So.
Yeah, Gnarly was recommending the same 2 games because he knew that I liked the Fire Emblem series and that I like Persona. So he's like, you would really like these two. So I really need to take my time and do it.
For sure. I watched his video on these actually the other day, and it was really, really good coverage of it. I enjoyed what he talked about and his breakdown of the gaming system because I guess it's a little different than the regular Shin Megami Tensei stuff. But I can't speak to it. The only other one I've played from the Shin Megami Tensei series is something Journey. What, Strange Journey?
Strange Journey, yeah. Was it Redux or was it the DS one?
I think it was the DS one.
That's supposedly the better one.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the thing is, I'm not that kind of moving through a grid in the first person space was kind of weird for me. Yeah. So I'm sure it takes a while to get used to.
Oh, it does. I have a hard time with that first person dynamic as well because it's easy to get lost going from that perspective.
Oh, for sure.
Speaking of easy to get lost, maybe it would be a good time to transition to talking about the narrative journey of your channel. Okay. Do you feel like at any point you kind of got lost doing something that you didn't really feel like it was your content anymore and you were just kind of creating something because you felt the need to create it as opposed to wanting to create it?
Oh, that's a real good question. No, not in that sense, or not to that extreme. I think I've always had to, I think anytime you're starting out, you kind of template yourself based on someone else. But I've always been very, very adamant that I'm going to do what I want to do because I love it, right? I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And everything, all the various incarnations and types of videos I have made since then are just stylistic experimentation. But I don't think there's ever been a time when I wasn't doing what I wanted. If you can give me an example of what you mean, maybe I could give you a better answer, though.
Like for example, I know you covered like almost all of Star Trek. Did you feel like you had to finish that or you wanted to finish that series?
Oh, yeah, that was more an obligation. Yeah, I see. Okay, if that's what you mean, then yeah, that was an obligation. I had started, and by that point, I just didn't want to give up. So it was less like social pressure. You have to do this, or I need to do it. Or I need to do it because it's expected of me. It was more, I've started this thing, and I should see it to its natural conclusion.
I feel like even if there's no social pressure from the community that watches your videos, you would almost feel like if you didn't finish that series and you got popular in the future, people would be like, why? Why isn't this series finished?
For sure. I mean? For sure. And that's obviously a big thing is you're balancing your own desires and the own content you want to make vis-a-vis the will and desire of the community. But when I was making these, I think it was the Star Trek Discovery and the Picard review. So it was Discovery season 2, I want to say, and Picard season 1. I was doing full episode by episode. Oh, and Castlevania reviews as well. I did want to do, and I still want to do that kind of thing. I want to do episode reviews. It's just not enough time in the day. So that was still from my own heart. That was a type of content I wanted to make. But since then, obviously, I've stopped making those reviews. But I was at 150 subs at the time anyway, so it's not like I had pressing, overwhelming social pressure from the YouTube community or the Trek community to like, you have to finish this, you owe us, there's no social obligation to a 100, like just over 100 sub small fry like me, a shrimp, if you will, a shrimp like me. To be fair, I'm not like I've made it at 800 subs either. I feel no social obligation except for the people to the people who have subbed to me since then, who've been active and been commenting. I just want to do things that make you smile, but fundamentally, it's also I have to do things that make me smile. That's really the most important part of my channel. And if it makes you smile, that's great too. I hope it does. But
if there's one thing, and maybe you could also talk to this, there's one thing I've noticed, and let me know if you're in the same boat, is that your community changes over time. Like you may still have like you might have 200 subscribers in the beginning, and there's a bunch of people that are filtering in and commenting on your videos and talking all the time, and then like that wave ends, and like now you're back on the shore again, and now you've gained like 300 subscribers, and you've got a brand new community with the new content you're making, and then that wave hits the shore, and now you're sitting at like 500, 600, and now a new wave of subscribers have come in, and your community just is constantly changing as you build subscribers.
Absolutely, but that's the difference between I think what I make, the content I make, and something like what you at the CHRILLCAST make. You, Will, and I'm sorry, I don't know the new guy's name.
Andrew.
You, Will, and Andrew make. My content is, yes, it is very much me in that every essay is me pouring my heart out. Here's my thoughts. It's very deeply me, but it's also very much not me because I'm not the face of it. And in the beginning, because I had ego about it and because I was kind of mimicking myself on others, that's what that avatar was. I had this little template avatar, and he would move, he would adjust his eyes, he would mimic to talk, and within the range of my abilities at the time, I thought that, well, okay, that's my way of anchoring these viewers to me, because at the time I couldn't really remove myself in that way. I had to be the face of it, and that's partly an ego thing, but I think with video essay channels, a lot of them at least, you're immersing people in content, and that there's more of a feeling to it. The feeling is you. It is you, but it's also not about you as opposed to a podcast. The CHRILLCAST is very much about Chris, Will, and Andrew. Joe Rogan's show is very much about Joe Rogan, as opposed to, any of the talk shows. I always put it like this: what's the difference between a talk show and a film? Right.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they both can be touching works and works of love and hard work for sure, but they're just different forms of media that attract different types of crowds. So I don't think I will ever, I try to, but I think something like what the CHRILLCAST makes is going to be able to build more cohesive a community than I ever could. Part of it's personality wise too. Chris, you're more of a people person than I am, but I think people are going to come and rotate through my channel because, this type of content works. I like the way he talks about these things, but it's not necessarily going to be a bonding experience for the community. And that's something I'm going to have to work on, something I'm going to have to build, and something I'm thinking about actively.
I think you've done a really good job. I didn't even, until you mentioned that separation from you versus the content you're covering, I didn't realize that was the biggest change I noticed in your content, because I definitely noticed that now thinking back on your Rurouni Kenshin. I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah, close enough.
Okay, anyways. You definitely have pulled back from it being you in the center to the content you're covering and building that feeling of the community of people that are watching that content and how they're all feeling together.
Right.
That is a really powerful way to present a narrative. And I wish that I could do something like that, because I would love to do content that way. But I also don't think that my personality works well with that style of content. I'm still working on some stuff like that, but
I disagree, actually, Chris. I think the way you discuss a lot of games, especially things that you're passionate about. I can tell when you're passionate about something when I watch a CHRILLCAST versus when I'm something that you're kind of just doing pro forma. Not to say that you're mailing it in, Chris. I'm not saying you're, phoning it in, with your busy life. Oh God, let's talk about the Kindle today. Nothing like that. But for example, when you talk about Megaten or Halo, I feel it a bit more. But of course, the Halo thing is obviously something you and I and Will have always kind of bonded over anyways. So maybe that could be me overlaying those feelings onto you. But I can definitely tell when you connect with something. So if you took that Chris, and let's say you took, what's your favorite Persona game?
It's definitely Persona 4 Golden. Like,
okay,
no contest.
I bet if you sat down and wrote a script out for Persona, it would be a great script on par with anything that I could make, because it's coming from your heart, and it would be a different format. It would maybe take you a little bit of getting used to and tweaking to kind of get that narrative voice, not narrative voice necessarily, but that type of essay voice out. But I think you could do it very, very well. You're a well-spoken guy, Chris.
Well, I appreciate that, Dan.
He's just lazy sometimes, guys. He's lazy. Like, oh God, Kindle. Let's talk about Kindle today, Chris. I'm so tired.
I don't think I've ever talked about the Kindle, although I do like my Kindle. I have a Kindle Voyage, and that's how I read most of my books.
What are you reading recently?
Some C.S. Lewis, also some of the Halo books I've got digitally on there because I'm just trying to catch up on some of the lore.
Divine Wind. Please tell me you're reading Divine Wind.
No, I'm doing the 3 Master Chief stories, and then I'll be on to I think after that, Divine Wind's in the cards for me.
It's good. I like the Veta. Have you read the other Veta Lopez stories?
I have not. No.
Okay, they're really good side stories. I was surprised. It's okay. I didn't want to bring up the series because I thought we'd keep it clean. We'd keep this one clean, but all right. One of the biggest comments and criticisms of the series. What do you think that usually is?
For Halo in general?
Yeah. No, of the Halo TV series.
Oh, just how far it diverges from the lore. But usually it's the fact that he takes off his helmet, which is not actually like a problem with the lore because he does that significantly throughout the books.
For sure.
And that's, I think the issue more in my mind is that we see it. Right? Because in the books, you don't see it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the book. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
True. In the books, you don't see it.
So you could easily film it in such a way that you still don't see the Master Chief's face.
Yeah, or I mean, Mandalorian proved you don't have to take off the helmet except for every once in a while, right? And
I'm not saying the guy should never take off his helmet, but you could have literally every scene where his helmet's off filmed in such a way that you don't see his face.
Oh, absolutely. For me, the criticism I see a lot is that if it's not focusing on Master Chief, it's not Halo. So, for example, if they do an episode that focuses on Quan or on Miranda or something, oh, that's not Halo. We should be seeing the Chief. And I'm like, the extended lore has so many stories that do not focus at all on the Master Chief, or he's just a mention, a random one-off. So that's still Halo. That's very much Halo to me.
Oh, I think the biggest problem with the show is they picked the wrong character to base the show on.
Absolutely. No, I'm not even talking about the series. I'm just that specific criticism because I love the Veta Lopez side stories. They focus on this human character with, for people who don't know, on Spartan 3 Gammas. I don't want to get into their story, but they're good side stories. They're really engaging and they're kind of fun spy thrillers as well. So anyways,
Veta Lopez.
Yeah, I think that's her name. I want to say it's Lopez. Is it Lopez or is it Lopez?
Apparently that brought it up. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, she's so awesome. What a great character, man.
Oh, Divine Wind. Here we go. So that's what you're talking about?
Oh,
okay. Troy Denning. Yeah, that is on my list of books to read.
Any of the Troy Denning books are, I got to start covering those too, but freaking
Nerd Talk book report incoming.
Well, I was thinking about doing it again. I have so many ideas of things I want to do, and I'm going to be, once I get off this weird little anime kick I'm on, I'm going to be bringing back a couple things. I want to talk about, for example, Starship Troopers. You were talking about it the other day. I want to cover the book.
That is a great media franchise. Like, honestly, I just discovered Roughnecks, which I didn't even know existed.
Okay. How do you like it?
It's looks like Halo. Clearly their inspiration was drawn when they created the Halo video games was from that. I no doubt in my mind that was a huge inspiration.
Oh, 100%. If the first couple of pages of the Halo, not the Halo book, the Starship Troopers book, you're like, oh, that's just an ODST.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's great. It's really, really amazing. Yes, I want to cover that, the book, and how it differentiates or how it differs from the movie. So
one of the strongest things I think about your content is that you cover such a wide variety of things, and you kind of go through like a season, like seasons of Nerd Talk in my mind would be like
seasons. Sure.
You went from like Japan slice of life Halo and some other stuff mixed in there to covering like a season of something like Castlevania. Then you did a Fast and Furious thing. You went through the entire Star Trek Picard. You did several Deadpool things, and then you moved from series to like full blown narratives based around either a character or a series. Like you did the Anakin's Shame and Rurouni Kenshin. We're currently in like this long form narrative driven storytelling that you're doing now, and I think each season of Nerd Talk is good in a different way.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I love, like I said, it's not me deliberate. It's not me deliberately going, okay, time to switch it up. It's the natural evolution of what I'm trying to do. Like every time I find something new, some new editing technique, or find inspiration online, I'm trying to bring myself closer to how I always envisioned my channel being. And with these last 3 videos, it is getting closer to that. I always wanted to do these type of videos. It's just that when I was first starting out, I didn't have the editing ability. I didn't know how to structure my script correctly to do a 30-minute or 1 hour analysis of a work. I could do the analysis in my head because all of these things are always in my head, but it was me jumping around trying to figure out what's the best way to tackle it, what's garnering the most attention, because unfortunately, you know, we have to balance our own desire and our own vision sometimes to what we think will work, and that's something you see a lot. It's a good thing and a bad. Is a lot of YouTubers who make it big, when they started small, they found one video that took off, right, and then they niche down. And niching down is very important for YouTubers. People don't understand it. To build your channel based on one thing, because you're building a reputation, and you can build, as we mentioned before, a community that will come back, that will engage. So our buddy Arash, his is entirely FPS stuff or Halo stuff. You have entirely Halo channels. You have Nirely, you were talking about, is basically a Shin Megami specialty channel. And that's wonderful to do. I can't do that. I don't have the patience for it. It would bore me to death to talk about only one thing, because eventually you're gonna mine that well dry, right? And then what then? Or let's say you do it so much that you start hating the thing that you love. It becomes like a job. I just don't want it to ever be that to me. So that's why I've never niched down in the way that probably would be more successful.
Yeah, it kind of cracks me up that you mentioned that, because like Will always wanted us to be a mostly Halo-based podcast.
Right.
Dodge that bullet.
Yeah. Well, you talk about Halo like over 50% of the time.
It's not that much, but we do talk about Halo a lot. We never niched down to Halo only.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would rename, right? Like the people who are the branding too, like CHRILLCAST or something. You never made yourself that. You've made yourself this kind of icon instead, which allows you certain freedoms to explore other avenues and find what works best for you.
Exactly. And like using something, I'm not going to lie, when I first started and I saw you chose the name Nerd Talk, I was like, well, there's a lot of other channels that use the name Nerd Talk. Like, so you have to really kind of differentiate yourself from everybody else. I was like, if you choose more of a unique name, then it'll be easier to find because it's unique. And then I realized, well, no, if you end up being the top name in the category with the name Nerd Talk, you have a much easier name to find. And if you hit the top of that, like hit the surface, you're the top level of that name, then you have wide searchability.
Absolutely. And that was something I took into consideration when I picked the channel name. This wasn't actually the original channel name I wanted either. I wanted Geek Den, the Geek Den, because then I could be Geek Dan. And like it kind of has a nice little kind of rhythm and flow. It's like poetry, Chris. It rhymes.
Yeah.
For Star Wars fans. All right. But that, unfortunately, that was very much taken. And so not only taken, it was taken by a guy in the small YouTuber Reddit community. Like he started at the same time we did. So I was like, oh man, like I literally missed it out by a couple of months.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't look it up, please. I don't want to throw this.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
It just cracked me up that you specifically dodged it because he had it already in the small YouTuber community. It was very respectful. It's a very respectful thing to do, to just not go after the same thing somebody else is.
Don't worry, I'm gonna be making a Shrimpcast secondary channel soon. I'm coming for you, Chris.
It's gonna be all krill all the time.
I know, it's actually just me eating shrimp. It's one of those what are those called where they're just eating all the time?
Mukbang or ASMR?
Mukbang. It's like a mukbang ASMR. It's just me eating shrimp, like getting hives from all the seafood problems. But yeah, so it was definitely so. In terms of the content I'm making, as I mentioned, I'm slowly building myself toward that kind of ideal vision, which is Lindsey Ellis, Dan Olsen levels of analysis. Those are kind of my peak level. Sorry, I keep going this way, but I'm trying to move my hand this way. Reverse. Video essay kind of gods. There are gods out there, and I'm trying to slowly bring myself up to that level. That's what I want myself to be. So for people who don't know, Lindsey Ellis was part of Channel Awesome back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she was Nostalgia Chick. She was it was a kind of a spin-off from Nostalgia Critic, exactly. And then she was not only one of the OGs, but she grew into her own. After she split from Channel Awesome, she became one of the top tier, basically the video essayist on the platform until last year. And it was her. Dan Olsen is another guy who makes amazing content. He just released a video on NFTs, but my favorite video of his is In Search of Flat Earth. Yeah, that's him, Folding Ideas. In Search of Flat Earth, but he diversifies too. He talks about a bunch of different things. So his channel is more, or my channel, I guess, is more similar to his. But when he hits his peak, like, when he's in a rhythm with an essay, you can tell, like, just look at the views on line goes up, the NFTs, 8 million views. He made the news because of how good this analysis was. That's what I want. I want to build my channel to be influential about things that I love, but then also have Red Letter Media's irreverence, I guess. But I can't beat Red Letter Media's because they're so cynical about life. I just can't do it. Like, I tried sometimes. There were videos back in the day where I was trying to be more like them, be more edgy, or just put in more jokes like they would, and I'm like, I can't sell it the way they would. I just can't. And but anyways, you look at Red Letter Media's Phantom Menace essay, which is the grandfather of video essays. It's pretty much people acknowledge it as maybe the first video essay or the first influential video essay. And yeah, you can look up the Phantom Menace and all that, but everyone knows these guys.
I've actually watched the entire Red Letter Media Phantom Menace video. So
it's absolutely amazing.
It is. It's impressive. Like the amount of things they point out in that video essay.
Yeah, these guys are absolutely brilliant, and they made it too. The funny thing is, they just hit 1 million. I want to say a little over about a year ago, and these guys have been on the channel really long, or I guess they've been on the platform for a very, very long time. But they just never played the game. They don't take sponsorships. They make fun of people. Like, they just don't adhere to any of the norms that would have boosted them up into the 8 to 10 million range already. But these are the OGs. So it's weird.
So I want to kind of bridge out with something you said earlier. Sure. You said that a lot of channels will niche down when they find an audience, right? Mm-hmm. But I actually think that limits your full potentiality of gaining a following to a specific plateau of a number. Because
you think so?
That niche is only so big.
Right.
But if you continue to build an audience with varied content that is not specific, then you know that the audience is coming back to see your view or your writing or your narrative storyline. And that's a more powerful, more long-lasting channel, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So I think there's a secondary part to the niche down philosophy that people don't mention, because most people don't make it out of the very, very small range that we currently inhabit. And not to say that you and I will. I hope the CHRILLCAST does. I certainly hope I do, because, Daddy needs some bread. But
right.
The second stage of it is, once you niche down to build an audience, to build people who know you and are willing to consume your content. You're building a fan base. And I don't like fan base, that word bothers me. So a community is better. Yeah. Build a community. And then once you have an established community who are willing to consume your content no matter what, then you can open it up. So not you can niche down too much where now you've boxed yourself in. But there are different types of niching down. There's the type of content you make. So for example, the CHRILLCAST has niched down into interviews and kind of face-to-face discussions. It would be a very shocking thing for them to suddenly do, I don't know, Mr. Beast challenges. It would be fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. I would watch the crap out of a CHRILLCAST challenge. But I'm just saying, like, if it happens suddenly, your audience would be like, what's happening? And like, if you started varying it up too much, it would become weird it'd be confusing. And for the algorithm too, because it's trying to figure out where you exist, what space you exist. The algorithm, as I understand it, is trying to match people to the content that will watch it for extended periods of time. So the reason my Kenshin video took off is enough people, it hits some type of weird analytic threshold of likes, comments, and retention, where, okay, enough people are watching it for this long a time, and I have an idea of the people who are watching it. So for example, when I go through my community of my subscribers, my open subscribers, and I click on the channels that they subscribe to, they tend to, more often than not, be subscribed to, for example, the PlayStation YouTube channel. They tend to be subscribed to, oddly enough, the Stanford like engineer tech explanations.
Really?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I clicked it, I'm like, oh, okay. And something that's also interesting is that a lot of my audience are subscribed to channels that I watch. So it's almost like it took the things that I've been watching just over the course of my usual browsing. It started sending it out to them, saying my videos to them and saying, okay, maybe you might enjoy this. And then those people are saying, yeah. So it's trying to build connections. That's what the AI is trying to do. It's trying to build efficient connections to find who is going to watch your video based on what you watch, based on your subscriptions and things like that. And then people who are maintaining a longer watch retention rate. So
if I have learned one thing about the algorithm, it's that once you've found an audience on a specific subject, if you put more videos out on that same subject, diminishing returns, but you'll get more of that same audience returning and watching those videos. So like, for example, if the words PS4 something something update something's wrong are in the title of a video that I put out for Newswarm, automatically 1,000 views. Like,
nice.
Guaranteed.
Are you sure that's from, not from, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Are you sure that's not from current subscribers out who found you from that first PS4?
No, because we only gained like, I think like 200 subscribers from that, but we got like 12,000 views on the first one we did.
Wow, that's weird.
But every time I put PS4 and update, like I could do PS5 update, 100 views, but PS4 update, thousands. It's so bizarre.
All right, hang on. Here's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna hack the algorithm. Hey, Chris, I have a PS4. Do I need an update now?
We're too far into the video for the algorithm to recognize this.
No, just answer yes or no.
Yes.
Okay, we talked about it. You can now legitimately put it in the title. Nerd Talk Dan and CHRILLCAST Chris talk about PS4 and updates.
Or it'd be more likely PS4 9-point-something update. Nerd Talk Dan and Chris discuss.
Yeah, just make a word salad title. It's crazy. Well, it's interesting because you think that then my my FLCL video and my Furikuri video, the purists are going to yell at me. My Furikuri video and my Cowboy Bebop video would be doing much better than they are. So part of why the Kenshin video did well is because the Rurouni Kenshin community, and especially the subreddit, they gave it such an initial boost of, they were watching the entire thing, and so many people from that community watched it that I think the algorithm was like, all right, I'm going to keep an eye on this one video as far as I can understand. So by the way, I'm going to shout them out because they were amazing to me. r/Rurouni Kenshin. Great bunch of guys. If you like Rurouni Kenshin, if you like that anime and manga, stop by the community. I'm active there as well. I'm usually arguing with people, but you know, what are you going to do? They're good people. Yeah. These guys supported me during the initial push, that critical like first 48 hours. They pretty much like blew my video up to like 100 views or maybe 150 views, which at the time, and even now, 150 views for me is quite a lot. So
I've noticed if you can hit 100 views like in a short order, you're more likely to hit 1,000 views.
You'd think so. I don't, like I said, I don't really understand the algorithm. I don't know why this video took off, because it was growing slowly, and then for a while it was growing steadily, and then literally last month it spiked. So once I hit 10K, it started speeding up. Once I hit 20K, the algorithm spiked it, and then it grew another 20K within like a month. So I was like, oh, I have no clue what's going on, but let the good times roll. Like, let's do this, man. Let's do it. So yeah, it's been awesome. So
if there's one video that you felt you put your all into and you didn't get the you didn't get back what you put into it, what would you say that video would be?
Oh man, that's a good question. That's tough too. I'm very, very proud of. Okay, one that came out exactly like or at least close enough to exactly the way I wanted it to, or one that I'm just proud of.
Either or however you want to interpret the question. Something that you felt was really good and didn't do anything really compared to what you expected.
Okay, then allow me to answer with two videos then. The Cowboy Bebop video is not doing as well as I'd wanted it to, and I think like every video that I make for me is the apex of my editing technique, my writing skill, my understanding of how to make a video at the time, right? Because I'm always trying to improve and learn. So I'm instituting a new technique, or maybe I'm double checking that a mistake I'd made in the past I'm not doing now, right? So the Cowboy Bebop video I'm actually really proud of. The intro itself, that was actually what spurned on the video. I was in the shower and I was like, I want to remake the Cowboy Bebop intro, but with me. And I want to make it as like sellout as possible. So the entire, like, I remade Cowboy Bebop's intro, and it's like one part is just, it's my face, and then one part of it's like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm like, I don't do that anymore. I don't ask people to like, comment, subscribe anymore in my videos, because I just, if they're gonna do it, they're gonna do it, and if they won't, they won't. But it felt so hackneyed. I was like, I gotta do this. I gotta put this right here and make me look like as much of a shill as possible. And I put it to, like, Chris, do you mind us watching that? Like, I give you permission. Do you mind? I love this particular intro. It's only 30 seconds, but
you probably won't hear it, I don't think.
Oh, you can mute it if you want. Yeah. So I remade that entire intro almost frame for frame, according to the intro tank from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my gosh, I did not catch that the first time.
Yeah, it's shot for shot. A couple things I obviously had to change because I couldn't do it but here it's like, comment, subscribe. It's such a shill thing. I was like, I love it. I love how it makes me look like such a sellout. But even though I'm amazing. Like putting my heart and soul into this thing. But yeah, I'm always trying out new things, trying out new techniques, just to have fun, honestly. So I'm very proud of this one, and it kind of makes me sad that algorithmically it's not doing as well. It's getting a lot of traffic on the tail end of the Kenshin video, so people who are watching that are coming to my channel or clicking from that to this. But the real money, people know, is suggested videos and browse, which
look at my suggested videos on this one.
Exactly. Well, that's, I think, because of my my SEO. So what I did is I went back and I put the names of these Cowboy Bebop videos into those. Yeah, and I learned that technique from, I think, Dream. I think Dream had mentioned that that's what he does. He'll take his most recent videos and put those titles back. He'll backlog them into his older videos so that they're always connected. I was like, okay, let me try it out and see if it works. And apparently it does. So
I was doing that with hashtags.
Do you find it works?
Sometimes. I find that people sometimes click on hashtags for some reason. Yeah, and if you can rank high for a hashtag, your videos will all sort towards the top of the search bar too, which is an interesting theory I tested and actually does work.
How do you feel about tags?
I do them, but I don't necessarily work hard at them.
Yeah, that's fair. I think a lot of SEO
is... I just type, like, I literally sit there when I do my videos, and when I'm doing tags, I just think of, like, what would I search to get to my video? and I just type in everything that I can think of until I hit 500 characters.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you throw everything at the wall for sure. But I think a lot of SEO is superstition nowadays.
It is.
Like, and it's a way for marketers to promote an SEO site. Like, oh,
Like
I know the
Social
secret.
Blade,
Yeah,
TubeBuddy.
exactly. Well, not even those, but like you'll see articles by like SEOexpertonline.com, whatever it is. And like their advice is always the same. Hey, Chris, did you know that in order to get people to click on your thing, the key is to have an attractive thumbnail? Did you know to keep people engaged, you should make a video which captures their interest? I'm like, are you serious?
Okay, stop right there. Your thumbnails are glorious lately. I have to say, they're easily readable. They are very descriptive just looking at them.
Thank you.
And I did not realize they were your videos until I noticed your name was beneath them. They're very professional.
How dare you, sir, not feel the soul. I actually like the Anakin one because it took me a while because I was experimenting with GIMP a little more at the time. GIMP is okay. Let me clarify. Is a faux pas? GIMP is a free photo editing software. I wasn't Okay. Yep. Anyways, GIMP. So if you, I love how it took me a while because I was like, oh, what if I put Anakin's face in the side of Darth Vader's helmet as almost like a reflection? So I was experimenting with cool ways to do that. It was a lot of fun. So every thumbnail is me experimenting as well. What new cool way can I design a thing? But I don't know. Anyways, yeah, the Cowboy Bebop video is I like that thumbnail. I like the video overall. It's really, really good. But the Anthony Bourdain one, I wish I could remake entirely. So yeah,
it's not too late, Dan. I guess you could always just write another one.
No, I mean I have the script. Like what I would do is I would just replace like one for one. I would keep the script. It's
okay.
Visually, it's fine. I was understanding my visual style a little bit more at the time, but I wasn't, in terms of delivery, it wasn't as smooth as it's slowly becoming.
Okay.
Yeah, I've kind of found a better rhythm. So compared to my first videos, I used to talk like this. The Joker, he fights the Batman. It was very stilted because I was reading off a script, and I'm still reading off a script, but now I found a better flow. That I like, and it sounds less forced, I suppose. So I kind of want to.
What I would describe as a clean narrator voice for these style of videos. I think your voice works really well because some people's voices are like they sound like good voices, but they're not a voice that I would listen to for a narrative. Your voice is very clean and sounds like a narrator, so it works well for what you're doing.
Lies. I would kill for your voice, man. You have because all right, people don't get it. The visuals of a video are, of course, so important. But one of the axioms of YouTube is audio is king. You have to have clean, good audio, and part of that is having a nice voice. Especially like I make it's pushing half an hour now, sometimes an hour long video. I hate listening to my voice most of the time. I want to hear a nice, deep voice. Like, I don't want to say sensual. I'm not saying your voice is sensual, Chris, but it is. And so my buddy.
I don't know if you could hear what I was messing with on mic. I was trying to put it in the camera, and I can't seem to make it happen.
Oh, I thought that was like a shoe. I thought like your wife was hitting you with a shoe. I was like, what? I just didn't want to comment on it. I was like, I'm
just gonna show you the mic I use.
Oh, nice. Does it help get that deep reverberation?
I think so. It's like a old school condenser mic from 2008.
Okay.
But it's a USB
you're a musician
one.
Though, so you understand the importance of a good mic.
Of course. Sure. Yes. And for anybody watching, the mic is a hugely important part of any narrative. But when you're starting out, obviously the best mic is the mic you have.
iPhone. I was using my iPhone at the time.
Exactly.
Those initial videos. Yeah. My buddy though, he's British. And not only is he British, but he has like that perfect vocal range for you would want to listen to him for a long time on a documentary. It's not too high and it's not too low. It's just right. And he has the Londoner accent, which is just, if you're watching, buddy, you have a sexy voice. I would kill for your voice too. I want your voice for my videos, but it's got to be about me. My videos are about me because I got to make the money. Anyways, Yeah, it's really really important to have a good voice and to have a good flow. And I consider my voice similar to like Conan O'Brien's, whereas someone like you who has a great narrator voice would be something like Barry White. You have Barry White's voice, and hey guys, I'm Conan O'Brien. You know, that's my voice. But
I find that like low voice narrators can put people to sleep sometimes, and that's
yeah,
not always the best. That's not always the voice you want for narrating a long video.
sure, but it's disarming. That's the thing. A higher voice can be grating, and part of it's like I said, I hate my own voice. So, okay. How about you? Do you, as a musician as well, do you like the sound of your own voice? Like when you rewatch a CHRILLCAST or listen to a song you made?
Not really. Like I don't think anybody likes to listen to their own voice. Although I have caught myself once or twice listening to my own podcast just to see how far I could get before I remembered that's me talking in the podcast.
Sure.
And I've gotten pretty far a couple times.
Really?
Before I realized, like, remembered, like, oh yeah, that's me.
Wait, I mean, you going, this is Chris from the CHRILLCAST wasn't a big giveaway?
No, I like slip these in like midway through a playlist just to see how long it takes me to realize, like, because I'll be zoned out, I'll be working. I'll put the podcast on in the background, and then I'll see how long it takes me to realize in a random list of podcasts how far in before I realize, oh yeah, that's my podcast. What the heck am I doing listening?
For sure.
Well, that's kind of the trick for me to figure it out.
How often do you actually re-listen to your own stuff?
When I started, almost all of it, just to see what I did right, what I did wrong. Now it's like I publish it and it's like, I'm not going to listen to that.
For sure. I feel you. Yeah, I guess so. So the last 3 videos I made, like I said, as I approach my vision for what the content I want to make, I re-listen to those all the time, sometimes on the train. And part of it's just to kind of cement in that stylistic, like when I'm making a new script, I'm working on a new script now. And so I kind of want to understand the beats of what I hit in those last 3 videos that made them successful. But also, I've always ascribed to the philosophy, I want to make videos that I would enjoy watching. And so the fact that I can go back and re-listen to those as their own piece of content makes me happy, because I'm like, okay, I enjoy listening to this. So hopefully people like me will want to watch them, I suppose. So
I 100% understand. Like when I used to write music, and short story, I'm kind of writing music again.
Oh, are you? Good for you.
Writing music. We'll see how it goes.
He has 1 note down. Here's a triplet. That's it.
I would listen to it over and over and over and over to the point where I literally would not want to hear myself even speak. Like that's like, for example, when we did the Halo video, I think it's still one of the featured videos on our channel. If you're not subscribed, it comes up first. The Halo song. It was Old Town Road times Halo.
Yeah.
That one was literally over and over and over again for like weeks before I was willing to release that. I just kept tweaking, right?
So when you were tweaking, though, you would have to go back and re-record it, or?
For the most part, once I lay down the vocals, unless I'm very disappointed with the way they sound, I just used audio effects to tweak it that way instead of actually re-recording it, because I just don't want to.
Clever girl.
That is a trick that I've been using for years, because I used to re-record lyrics over and over and over again. But here's the thing you find out when you re-record lyrics on a song: if it's not cohesive on the same day you originally did it, then your audio levels will be different. Kind of like the way your voice sounds will be not cohesive. So you either re-record the whole song or you don't re-record.
Yeah, I'm like that with my my scripts. I have to do it all in one go, because this setup is very much ad hoc. Like some people know exactly how far their mic always is from their face, how far the camera, all of that stuff, down to like the centimeter. You got to assume people like Mr. Beast, like know exactly, who are like anal retentive about this stuff, know the exact setup. So they can go back day in, day out, and it'll always be the same. Well, of course, within a noticeable reason.
Or you have like a desk space that nobody touches except yourself. So like
exactly.
Nothing actually moves.
Exactly. And your seat is adjusted just right. But if I'm so deathly afraid of having to re-record something because it'll throw the audio off, that I just don't do it. I would rather do it all in one go, and it takes me about an hour or 2 hours to record a 30-minute video because mistakes will happen. You have to go back and rewrite on the go, on the fly. And yeah, it's my nightmare. I had to do it a little bit for the Cowboy Bebop video, and I don't want to tell people where.
Because then people will know, right?
No. Here's the thing. I want them to. Okay, first, I want you to watch the video, but watch the video and comment down in this video, in the CHRILLCAST video. Come back here, then rewatch this video as well to give Chris some views. Comment where you think I had to re-record something. I want to see if people can find it, because to me, it's
right
super
there.
noticeable.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's right there, right now.
That was a joke. Whoa, that's a weird still to be stopped on.
Yeah. Why did his voice suddenly become like this?
Anyway. What I clicked was like right. It was like right one of theirs, like one of the shots from below. It's like, that's a weird place to be stopped at.
Exactly, for sure. Yeah, it's oh god, that video. Love this video actually.
It's an awesome title too. Like, if jazz was anime, I love that title.
I was going. That was actually at the recommendation of one of the mods on the Discord server. So as you can, the Kenshin video and the Furikuri video, I was starting to build a template for my titling to keep it very much the same. It was the something of something, the beauty of this, the beauty of that, or the right. So this video is called. It's really called, in my heart at least, the soul of jazz.
Okay.
And my upcoming video, I don't want to tell you what it's about to spoil it, but it's called The Nobility of Sacrifice. But the moderator on the Discord was like, I don't like that title. Try this instead. And I tried it, and I just haven't been too lazy to change it back to do A/B testing. So I can't imagine it would change though.
Can I recommend a series for you to actually do a review on that I would love to hear?
Absolutely.
Samurai Jack.
Yeah, that's on there. No, I have a list, and Samurai Jack is on there. I'm going through a lot of Cartoon Network stuff. Like, it's in a queue. So after this next video, for example, once this is released like months and months from now, I'm going to switch out of a cartoon thing. I want to do the Seven Samurai. I want to analyze that movie. Because I don't want to box myself into becoming an anime or cartoon channel. So I just want to let people know, like, if you're joining me from those, you're more than welcome, but I'm going to be talking about other stuff. And then Samurai Jack's on there, at least in the next couple of years. But I'm covering things like, hopefully, Inuyasha, a lot of the Toonami and Adult Swim classics. I want to talk about Venture Brothers. I want to talk about Venture Brothers eventually as well. So all of those. I want to do Persona as well. Persona 3. I want to break down because I love that game.
You should. Have you watched the Persona 3 movies?
I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've been meaning to. Highly recommend
it. It's a really, actually, one of the few adaptations of a video game into a movie that I think is done well.
Really?
Yes.
Like enough that you're...
I watched it. It's almost 5 hour set, 4 movies, like an hour and a half each. So it's like almost up to 6 hours of I watched the whole thing. It was really well done. It's like the weirdest thing because the Persona 3, they did a 6 hour movie essentially covering the game. And then with 4 Golden and 4 and then 5, they just did like a weird, 30-minute anime spin-off thing, like where it's like a season, 22 episode season. And it's like, this isn't nearly as high quality as what they did with Persona 3.
Oh, for sure. Have you seen the actual, what is it, Demon Summoner, the original Megaten anime?
I have not. No, I've heard of it. I haven't tracked it down yet.
Okay, I saw a review on it the other day, and I was like, "Whoa, looks pretty metal, man." So I might check it out because I was like, "Oh God, this is like underground 80s anime, which is bloody. It's gonna be super messed up stuff." So I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah, I think you would get a kick out of the Persona 3 anime as well. The 4 movies, just they're very serious. Unlike the animation for 4 and 5, which is a lot more high school shenanigans, more modern anime. Whereas, like, I'm thinking, I don't even know what anime would be similar to the Persona 3, like almost like a grown-up version of that Digimon movie, where it was like kind of more serious, like emotional and stuff like that.
Sure.
There was obviously some humor in there, and I think there's a little bit of humor in the Persona. I'm not remembering a lot of it, but it was very serious.
Persona 3 is super serious.
It is, like, in the anime, captures that very well.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a downer too at the end. I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
Did you play the, well, I guess the continuation, the epilogue journey?
The answer.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
No, but I did, but I also watched the YouTube condensed version because it was just it was a pain. It was a slog to get through.
For sure. They went a different way than I was expecting, for sure, by making, I don't want to spoil it, but the main character, who they made the main character of that extended journey.
The second half, yeah.
I was like, her? Really?
I mean, you could have picked a lot of people, and they chose. I mean, that was done on purpose, though, because without spoiling too many things, like how many other characters could you post the journey implant the player onto?
No, for sure.
There's not many. Most of them are too like stuck in their ways and like their personality, and unless you fit that personality, that bill, it'd be hard to like kind of live through the eyes of that character.
Absolutely. Well, I just think the thing with giving definite answers to, for example, who he ends up with or she ends up with, the main character, it's because we all kind of attach ourselves to a certain whoever we want them to be with, right? It's our adventure. Sure. We're the main character. We're the protagonist. And so, you know, when I had done my playthrough of Persona 3, I was very attached to one character as my partner character. Like, this is the person I imagine them growing up, growing old, and living happily ever after. And I was like, oh, but it wasn't that. Boo! Like, I was, getting out the torches. And that's the danger of a blank protagonist, is some people can so completely immerse themselves that from then nothing that you make that which is canon will ever be satisfactory as good as as good as what you construct in your head, right? And so
yeah, head canon is certainly a good thing and a bad thing.
For sure.
All right, so as far as your channel goes, for anybody that's watching this video and wondering where will Nerd Talk be at the end of 2022, where do you think this channel will be at in the end of 2022? Like, what content will you have out by the end of this year? Will it be more of what you're kind of at right now with your Cowboy Bebop? You keep saying the word for that video, and it's the FLCL video, and then you got Beauty of Tragedy with Rurouni Kenshin, Anakin Skywalker. Is it going to be more of that style of content? Are we going to see more shorts?
Yeah, so the shorts thing was a fun experiment and one that I just have to refine. So it's not dead. So anyone who doesn't know, people who are new to my channel, shorts was YouTube's bastardized TikTok, basically. Sub 1 minute videos, and it's an interesting way to do it. I just don't think the implementation has been good. The way I've been using them recently is as trailers, basically. So here's this video I'm making. Here's an upcoming trailer of it. Keep an eye out. It's to build hype, right? And then once it's released, it's I guess I'm using it as a teaser and a trailer. There's one teaser video before the video releases, and then one trailer video once the video is out saying it's out, come watch it. And it's usually just a segment, a preview or sampling of the video proper. So I've been using it that way, but the more fun way I've been using it was to make condensed versions of my Let's Talk About series, which are talking about story narratives and tropes in a more fun, lighthearted way. So I love thinking about story tropes. For people who don't know, tropes are story, not cliches necessarily, but story patterns and paradigms that people use. So, for example, the idiot ball is one I had talked about. The idiot ball is when a character acts out of character. When a character acts out of character in a dumb way in order to move the plot forward. So, for example, if the Master Chief was in the middle of a battle with, I don't know, the Covenant, like right that he was facing down an army of Covenant and he took off his helmet for some reason, and it was to kill him off so we could have some pathos and end the Master Chief's journey, that would be the idiot bill. Why did he take his helmet off? Or things like that. So I love breaking that stuff down, and it was fun to do. But I have trouble memorizing scripts. I was never in drama club or anything, so I just don't have that capacity at the moment to remember large chunks of dialogue. And so those shorts were me in front of a camera talking about this thing, and it would be filled with a lot of ums and likes, and so I was cutting that stuff. So it just didn't come off very smooth. So I have to put that on the back burner for now, and at some point in the future, hopefully I can bring that out. So maybe in the next couple of years, as I kind of refine what that is or find a better way to do it. Shorts are definitely something I want to integrate into my channel. Hopefully maybe I'll make a secondary channel because I think it kind of clogs up the feed, but there's that. So for sure, episode reviews, I want to bring those back.
Any particular series you're looking at?
Battlestar Galactica would be a lot of fun.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Series.
Yeah, you know, there's
obviously
so
the 80s version with all the great hair, right?
Sure. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. Battlestar 84, I think was. No, you got to do the 70s one, in fact.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Gundam, a bunch of Gundam's episode
Gundam's
stuff.
Good. Like Gundam.
Yeah, but I think in terms of what my main form content is, I think you're seeing it with these last 3 videos, with the Bourdain videos. It's these kind of chaptered breakdowns of something I love. Stylistically, narratively, thematically, musically, in a lot of cases. It's just looking at this work and how is it presented to us and what does it mean, or what does it mean to me? Of course, you're welcome to have your own opinions about it, but that's where I see it going. It's me kind of refining this technique and that writing system and that kind of format of video. And that's hopefully it. In terms of like view counts, I don't know. In terms of subscribers, I have no clue where any of that's going to go. Hopefully it'll keep going up.
You broke the six figures here.
Yeah, but to be fair, I cheated. If you go to if you go to videos, if you see, so I have a 30K video. Yeah, if you go by sort by most popular, I have a 30K viewed video, and it's a shit post.
I did not see that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, I'm happy I made it. I made it for TikTok. I didn't expect it to blow up because I put it on the Free Folk forums. This is about Game of Thrones. And then I put it on something I didn't know was anti Game of Thrones-ish, or it's some type of weird feud between the two. And so those both generated enough traffic that the Shorts algorithm started pushing it to a lot of people, and it got it up to 30K. And it's a shit post. It doesn't mean anything. It has no connection to my channel except for I thought it was really funny to make. It's just hilarious to me. So at some point I'm gonna have to hide that video, and I'm gonna lose those 30K views. But right now, it makes my channel look good. So it's like how many views does he have? Over 100K. Hey, you gotta get the money. I'm sorry. Yeah. At some point, I'm gonna have to go back, like I said, and clean up the channel. I'm probably gonna purge a bunch of the old shorts. I'm gonna purge this Rhaegar one, and maybe I'll put it up in the secondary shorts channel because I think it is a good video, and I think it's a funny video. It's just not where I see my my channel image being in the future. So a lot of this old stuff is going to be purged. The Deadpool one I'll probably keep for a while longer because the traffic from there is coming from a bigger YouTubers playlist. So I'm proud. That's it's an okay video, but anyways, yeah, I don't know. How about the CHRILLCAST? Tell me where you guys are heading.
Well, we're bringing back some of our old segments. So like for the longest time, we were moving on from what we used to do, and we were doing the live cast and then the news swarm thing, which does okay and then it does bad and then it does okay and then it does bad. So we're bringing back the conversations with the CHRILLCAST. Dan, you're the first reboot for 4 months after that. Yes. We're going to be, as soon as my work schedule like opens up again, Will and I are going to continue some of these Let's Plays we've been doing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I've got the Let's Plays on the CHRILLCAST TV, and Will's and Andrew are supposedly going to be doing stuff with that too. So we'll see. This isn't coming back. Unobtainable was fun, but it didn't do really anything for me. But what we're going to be bringing back, and Will doesn't know this yet, but we've been kind of discussing it in the background, probably Tuber Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. That was a great segment.
I think we might bring that one back.
Yeah.
And just for the record, I know exactly what you mean about just like, posting shorts that are just dumb. Like this one was a nostalgia post. I like remembered I had a bunch of stuff for my PSP. And so I posted that one, and randomly it just 1,000 views that day. And then a week goes by and another 1,000 views. Like, what the heck?
There's no logic to it, man. The shorts algorithm especially is super unpredictable, except for any YouTubers watching. It seems to be 3 days to queue up. So once you upload a short, it takes about 3 days for it to be recognized by the algorithm and then be pushed to the feed. That seems to be the common consensus, but it's really unpredictable.
Totally. But yeah, it's like we might bring back a few of our older segments. Like the Manic Monday is never coming back, just for the record, because I do that with Newsform. So that's basically already covered. Tuber Tuesday, that's coming back. I think Will and I will do, or Andrew and I, whoever is available that weekend, it might even be Andrew and Will record a bonus segment after the podcast is done that night, 5-10 minutes, doing a review of a YouTuber, right?
For sure. And
we'll bring that back, and it'll be like an evening post. And then obviously Newsform's not going anywhere. I do enjoy doing that actually quite a bit, even though it's tiresome at times.
Sure.
CHRILLCAST Live, not going anywhere. That's gonna still be around.
That's meat and potatoes right there.
It's one of the biggest things we do.
Sure.
But this is going to be like a background activity. We're going to be doing these not live for the most part, unless it happens to take the place of the podcast that weekend. And they'll just be posted on, like, I think Wednesdays.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
like
but see what you're doing it in a great way. So you are niching down in a certain way by trying new things and then seeing what works, what fits your style, but also what's working with viewers. It's that balance we were talking about earlier. So I really respect how you guys are approaching it in a very systematic way. And I guess that's the engineer in you, but
yeah, it is. That is pretty much the engineer aspect for sure. But yeah, I think that's what we do. We remove things, we add things back. Like the iPhone, add feature, take away feature, add feature, take away feature.
For sure. Absolutely.
Take away the headphone jack, give them AirPods.
Oh man. Take away the plug jack now too. Everything's gone.
Exactly. Yeah, everything's gone. Just wireless. Everything's wireless. Yeah. It's all good.
No, I mean, they're just going to come and take your iPad. It's just it's gone. Everything's gone.
Yeah, your MacBook's gone. Here,
pay me this money, and it's all going to be gone.
Right to repair? No, right to keep your stuff.
Exactly.
Oh man, but yeah, CHRILLCAST is going to be. It changes. It ebbs and flows, and that's just how it goes.
When did you guys hit 1K?
Oh man, I think it's in the About tab. Let me see. Yeah, July of last year. So we're coming up on a year since we hit 1K.
That's crazy.
Again, we're gonna probably hit the 1.5 by time July rolls around. I think, just based on where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are kicking butt. You're showing this really steady growth, which I think is much more sustainable than bursts and fits and bursts of incoming subscribers.
Yeah, and like I said before, the community kind of ebbs and flows as well. Like when we start covering Halo, we'll see some of our oldest subscribers come back and watch some videos again. And like if we cover Persona, we'll see some of our Persona subscribers come back and watch. But there's some that were watching right in the beginning, and I know they start active on YouTube and they're just not watching our content anymore. That's fine. I understand that. It's just interesting to see like your community grow and diminish and grow and diminish. And like I said, it's like waves hitting the beach.
Sure. I try to keep in mind, Chris, with my deep voice, that your first 50 subscribers are usually your friends, family, and then the other smaller YouTubers that you kind of start networking with in the Reddit communities. And honestly, it's true. And those people, the thing about smaller YouTubers is that the burnout rate is real. So it's like from our class, we had like, I call it our class of people, our class of, let's say 30 people that we all kind of knew and were commenting on each other's videos. There's only about like 10 of us really, really active. It's kind of weird to think about that. The people drop off. It was you, me, D-Dubs, Viz, and then who else? Joy. Potter Party.
Is Coin Plant still around?
He's around. He's doing some freelance editing.
Okay.
Rather than making he's working on his own content, but he just hasn't published in a while.
There was Carl Lucas.
Yeah, Carl's still making videos as well. Yeah, he's doing well.
He tried to go full time at some point. I'm not sure where he's at with all that.
Yeah, I have no clue, but more power to him. Like the guy puts in the work for sure.
He does. His editing's really well done.
Yeah,
shout out to Carl.
The attention to detail, because I remember he picked apart a video of mine because like there was like a pixel, like a line of pixels that I didn't like bring a frame down by, and he's like, I noticed that shit immediately, and I'm like, oh man,
nobody would ever notice that.
Exactly, but that's the kind of eye for detail that makes for a good content creator, right? It's the guy who understands what he's making, what he wants, but also can make it well.
And he would always tear into the pause menu of games too. That was like something that just irked him.
Pause menu of games?
Yeah, it's like if a game had a pause menu.
Oh, sure, yeah.
He'd start like he was the pause menu guy. That's what he called himself at one point in time, the pause menu guy.
For sure.
But yeah, there's like a whole class of people. You're right. Yeah, it's really interesting to see where everybody's gone. I do think I'll shout out this guy one more time because I miss seeing his content on the YouTube channel algorithm, whatever you want to call it. But he hit 500 and he hasn't posted in like 3 years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, 2 years. He posted that one Faxanadu. That was like a year and a half ago.
It's weird. I don't know. Like not only in D-Dub's case, but how sub growth works. So I am a very active Social Blade like follower. Like I favorite, especially like of my friends' channels because I want to see when you guys do well, when you are failing to. So I can make myself feel better at night. When I'm fetal positioned up, I go, oh God, at least I have more subscribers than this guy. Something like that. But it's very, very interesting when people who have gone inactive are still gaining subs, and I think that shows something special in their channel. It shows that their content resonates well, and I think that
it totally does.
In D-Dub's case, he makes he can, I don't know, connect very well to people in his videos.
Content.
Evergreen content. No, but like his personality as well. He's a friend of all of ours, and he's just a good person, and I think that shows through in his videos.
Yeah, I think it's negative content can build an audience fast.
Yeah.
Positive content lasts the test of time a lot of times, in my opinion. Like negative content will get headlines for a couple days,
right?
Maybe a couple weeks. Sometimes if it's really bad, like what's a good, like for example, that Elizabeth Holmes, Theranos, like Theranos.
Oh, Theranos, yeah.
Like that'll get stuff like that is such a crash and burn scenario like that. Yeah, that'll get views for a long time in documentaries and everything else. But for the most part, negative attention is a short-term, big gain blip in the radar versus positive, everlasting, evergreen content.
Well, I don't
feel good content is like content that's good and makes you feel good is worth a lot.
Sure. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. It's I just think, there's so much negativity out there. I don't want to be spreading more of it, but also from a very practical stance, right? So let's say one video of mine takes months to write and edit and make. So let's say I'm working on a video for 4 to 6 months. Let's say if I'm making a negative video, but like deeply, deeply negative, that means I'm like immersed in negativity all the time for months. And who wants to live like that? Like that's going to give you an ulcer or something. I would rather acknowledge criticism. Like when something happens, okay, here's how this thing did poorly, but also this is something I love. So here are the good parts as well. So I don't really talk about the things I don't love so much because why would I want to think about that stuff?
That's exactly why we put out the "Nope, we're done" on the Halo TV show coverage because I felt myself going down that negative hole.
Sure.
Where I just felt like I was just too much criticism, not enough positive reinforcement, not enough constructive criticism. I was just not enjoying the series.
Constructive. That's the most important thing, though. Like you can criticize a work, and a thing can have its flaws. Like, for example, if I was to start talking about Picard right now, I would just go off on a rant, but it's not because, it's all trash. It's all trash. Like it wouldn't be that. It would be, here's this story point I don't agree with because X, Y, and Z. It would be a little more reasons than that. And that's different. That's very, very different than basically clickbait and hate bait and anger bait.
I did find myself like crossing that line where I felt like I was forcing myself to watch the show and I wasn't enjoying it. And when you force yourself to watch something that you're not enjoying, you're going to have a lot more negative things to say.
For sure.
So I'm taking a breather on the series, and I may come back to it at some point.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I know Will kind of like at least partially enjoys it, and I don't want to rain on his parade every week when we talk about it.
Oh, for sure. Well, that's very, very kind of you. Hey, you want to see something weird though?
Sure.
If you type my channel name in, actually, if you type it in as Nerd Talk Dan, for some reason your SEO is so good, you're one of the top videos for me.
Really?
Bizarre. Yeah.
Let me see. Oh, I won't find my own channel. Duh.
Yeah, you have to go incognito.
I'd have to. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna exit.
Wait, I've been exposed. Wait, fake. Oh no, sorry. I thought I was exposed.
Fake Dan Dixon.
I was like, oh no. They
every once in a while, I do type this in, and I'll show you what made me laugh. Hold on. I do type in CHRILLCAST exposed just to see what comes up. And
it's Scott the Jeez.
I get like Big Blanco. What? That's bizarre.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this video.
Yeah, you got some good marketing there. That Scott the Waz popped up.
Disease. I forgot about that one. Completely forgot about that. But yeah, we get a lot of.
So
Big
proud
Blanco.
of that one.
I was at the time. Yeah, so this is an interesting story that we can get into.
Yeah, I heard you talk with Justin. I have to rewatch it because it's so controversial.
I don't know why it's so controversial.
Oh, because like people, I can't. I don't want to get too into it, but people can say that though Kieran and Justin helped bring the downfall of Cinemassacre, and I don't know if that's true or not because it seems like James not all that into it either. But
oh, jeez.
Well, no, I mean like he just seems
no. Look at that title.
Understandable. Oh, jeez, I'm sorry. Oh my god, why is that coming up for you?
Because we interviewed him long time ago.
You have some good SEO, man. I don't know what you're doing, but like the fact that, but why? Like, are you just putting it in tags? Are you?
I don't ever put CHRILLCAST exposed in any of our tags.
No, but like how you're coming up, you're popping up for like bigger YouTubers too. Like for example, like I said, when you type my name in, for some reason your video about me ranks higher than my own videos.
Really?
So yeah, it's really bizarre in a funny way. I'm like, something about the way you worded the title or the tags you used, it's very, very strange.
Oh yeah, again, my video's not gonna come up.
I can't pop up on your you keep doing it.
I did this twice now. All right, we're gonna go to incognito and I'll share that. Let's find out. Let's find out. Yeah.
Pop up right there. Like before my more successful videos, it's just like
that is bizarre. This is still one of my favorite titles ever, Microtransactivision.
Oh, that was the one where I couldn't figure out when to come in for the intro, right?
Because Will wasn't showing up on Skype for you or something, remember?
Oh, yeah, that. Well, I just I didn't know. I hadn't watched it enough of the CHRILLCAST to know that that's how I'm introduced as well.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's our guest.
But you could hear me, but you couldn't hear Will, remember?
Yeah.
You had to always wait for us to cue, yeah, Will's in.
What a weird episode that was.
Yeah, for real.
To be fair, I didn't know any of the topics. I'm sorry about that. It was not a good guest for that episode, so I apologize.
There's the Vic Blanco prods, which you did know him.
Yeah. I think he took what we said in that episode and made it his catchphrase as well.
Yeah, he put it into a actual video after that, where I think he was talking about H3 or somebody. Yeah, I just said the magic words to get my channel canceled, but that's okay.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm sure the algorithm's like, oh, found it.
Okay. Yeah, we found the mole to squash.
I don't know what's up. Why that first one comes up as the first
probably because I literally wrote Nerd Talk Dan.
I guess that's true. But I write Nerd Talk Dan. No, I guess I write Nerd Talk. Huh? Yeah, my normal titles. Yeah, there you go.
Find out. There is that other Nerd Talk channel that doesn't get a lot of views.
There's a bunch of them. There's quite a bunch. In fact, Desi Nerd. Hopefully I'm the higher ranked one of the smaller guys.
Yeah, no, you're right here. And then this guy's 11 and then 11.2. Here, let's just go by channels for fun. Yeah. But for some reason, this is the top one.
Better branding or something in their description must be.
Nope.
Nothing? Yeah, then I don't know how the search engine decides. You could go crazy thinking about this stuff. And that's why I try to just turn it off. But how much time I study my analytics, it bothers me that I don't have any clue how search works.
It is what it is, you know.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks. That's helpful. The engineer, like, yeah, so it works if it works. That's how I want. That's how I want my car to be developed. How does the wheel work? How does the engine work? I don't know. It works if it works. If you go, you go. Thanks.
This is totally going to be the chopped up intro to this interview to
For
start
sure.
the video off. It is what it is. And then you're like,
I just remember that Simpsons episode where they're interviewing Homer, and they keep cutting the interview to make him say like random stuff. I wanted her sweet can and her sweet can. So,
oh my goodness.
yeah.
All right, Dan, is there anything else that we should discuss before we conclude the interview?
I think that's it. I mean, I appreciate you having me on. It's always a pleasure to be on the CHRILLCAST. Hopefully I can be back on with Will, my my bromance brother.
Right. Yep.
So,
and Billy, Chris, your fellow Halo Reach apologist.
Whoa! You don't want to start this right now, but yes, I do love Halo Reach. No, honestly,
it's
I appreciate
game.
having
I'm
me
just
on.
Messing with you.
It's been too long since we've done this, so hopefully we can make it a little more often, and hopefully we can kind of corral the old crew just for a fun little chat at least. That would be really, really nice.
That would be really fun to do a like almost like an r/small YouTube club 2019 or whatever year it was. Like corral the crew of people that were all around at the same time.
For sure. Yeah, we can talk about that. And honestly, it was just a lot of fun to be back. And thank you for your softball questions. Like, you didn't get into any weird stuff yet. It's going to be all off the record, folks. Nerd Talk Dan and CHRILLCAST exposed.
They're sweet cans. No.
Sweet can, yeah.
All right.
Venus. Thank you so much for having me on. I would guess, should I shout out my channel, I suppose?
Yeah, make sure you guys go subscribe to Nerd Talk Dan's channel.
And make sure you subscribe and check out CHRILLCAST. I mean, you're watching this on CHRILLCAST. I don't know why you wouldn't do that, but all right. You do you, audience. So.
Right, yeah. You do you, algorithm.
Exactly.
As always, I am Chris.
And I'm Dan from Nerd Talk.
And we'll see you on the next CHRILLCAST. Bye, guys.